Alright, so welcome to this microprocessor class. We'll now go over the syllabus and little bit about the policies and how we will administer the test and also the homeworks and everything. So this class is a hands-on experience on how you can write code to control the microprocessor. So to understand this class, we need the concept from the digital circuit class. We have to understand the number system for sure. I think we all know it, but I saw you score, some of you are still in the struggling. I'm sure that we'll be able to refresh everything within a week for sure. And also we need all the backgrounds of the C++ class, because by the name it looks like this is a hardware class, but that is not. Technically this is a software class, because this semester in this class we will learn how you can write code to control the machine. So to understand that, you have to understand how the microprocessor works. Not everything, but some basics. You also have to understand how you can write code. I think we all know how to write code. We have some understanding of writing code in C++. But the code you will be writing here and the code you have written for that class is quite different. You still will be dealing with the logic, because as long as you are writing programming language, you will always have to deal with the logic. But the difference is here. When you write the code in C++, you don't have to think about how the microprocessor is working, how the microprocessor is loading the data, how many bytes of how many bytes of memory location it has, how many different, for an example, when you work, you probably don't care whether you have 16 GB RAM or it's 84, for an example, is 32 GB RAM or it's probably only 8 GB RAM. It doesn't matter, right? I'm saying, but it matters here, because you will basically deal with the machine. You will be writing code directly to control like this. For an example, you will tell the microprocessor, do this, load this, unload this, add this. You see what I'm saying? Now, some people at the beginning, we don't realize that why we need to do this, because we can still write the code using the high level language. Here in the high level language, when you write one line of instruction, if you really want to do it here, you have to at least write 20 lines. Why we want to do this? It's probably useless. Not true. The reason we want to do it, because as a computer engineering major, we really want to understand how the machine works. And all of the machines, doesn't matter it's a computer, doesn't matter it's a cell phone, doesn't matter it's something where you have microprocessor, because these days almost everything has some kind of microprocessor. Probably the speed is different. Even for an example, let's say these days, even in the vending machine, you have, for an example, washing machine. They are smart as well, right? For an example, if this happens, it controls something. Everything is smart, because they have microprocessor built in there. Okay? And what do you think? So these microprocessors are just like, some kind of dumb circuit. The reason I said dumb, because they just execute the instruction, nothing else. And they only understand a set of instruction. For an example, for one microprocessor, we probably have a list of instructions. For an example, 100 instructions. It does not understand anything beyond that point. But what happens is, people write software, right? They write code. Now, between you and the microprocessor, code works as the middleman. You are doing something that the microprocessor will never understand. But the code, along with the compiler, because what happens is when you are basically doing something, everything is being translated to the way the microprocessor understands by the software. Once it is decoded, microprocessor understands what exactly said. Now, and also it's hard to believe before people come to this class, because I have been teaching this class for last 3 years. So before, it's hard to believe before you come to this class that computer, any digital machine, doesn't matter it's a cell phone, doesn't matter it's a scientific or advanced or TI 84 plus calculator, doesn't matter what it is, it can only do addition, nothing else. It's really hard to believe that all the apps, all the software, doesn't matter how powerful the machine is, it can just do the addition, nothing else. The only one operation it knows, or it can compare as well. Some logical compare it can do. For an example, it can compare which number is larger, blah, blah. Still that is done by addition. It's really amazing that only one single operation is running the whole world. But the only difference is this, because, whenever, for an example, I can give you some quick, very small examples, because, I don't want to scare you for sure. But for an example, let's say you are doing multiplication. See, the multiplication is nothing but repetitive addition, right? So for an example, 5 times 3, what it is? You will be adding 5 3 times, so 5 plus 5 plus 5. For an example, the subtraction, I think you already saw it. I gave you an example. We have an example here. The subtraction can be done as an addition, which is 2's complement method. You are basically at the end, you are just adding 2 numbers, but you are getting the result of subtraction. There is another way of doing subtraction. We just have some formulas. We can do the subtraction right away from there, but still we encourage our students to do it using the 2's complement method, because the computer does it in this way. Computer exactly does the 2's complement subtraction, because it just knows addition, nothing else. So it always translates everything into addition. For an example, let's say probably you click somewhere, something happened in your cell phone or in computer. For that, your compiler or the software translated everything to the machine instruction. Microprocessor has done something for that. Probably what happens is, for that one single click, it has to execute 20 instructions, or maybe like 35 addition, but it does it so fast, nobody realizes, because your machine, your processor is so fast, in 1 second it can probably do like 1 million addition correctly. So nobody realizes that it's only doing the addition, unless they come to this class. Now in this class, you will get an opportunity to see exactly what is happening, how the world is running only on the addition. But the bad part is this. This class is really enjoyable, exciting, but most of the people agree it just before the semester is over. So we might need the whole semester to motivate you, and I'm sure that we'll enjoy the class. So here we have a textbook. I'll show you the textbook, but there is all the information you have for the textbook. This is a pretty much old book, because we don't have any, and there is a lab manual. We'll give you the manual before we will go to the lab, but remember, we are not going to the lab within
next 1 week. We want to understand something, then we want to I'm talking about the low-level language, because this assembly, this is a low-level language. The reason it's being translated to several different phases, now we are writing directly to the assembly. Now what is the difference? Difference is, but you can also write the hello world in assembly, write 3 lines or 2 lines, right? But the writing the hello world time, it's not about how many lines you, it's about how the machine works, and you will see how you understand that how the machine ++ or C# or any other directly assembly there. Okay, because and even there are some screen, the black screen, for an examination, so you just want to install something. At that time you have to use some DOS commands. I'm sure that you have been exposed, so you have seen some instructions there. So for an example, let's say you 100%, still you are missing something, right? I'm saying, let's say you get 70%. What is out of the 30% which you missed? You'll be still missing and you get 0 there, right? You say, none of this quiz, as you see here, look at this, always. None of this quiz in this class I post before the final day of the semester. But don't rely on that. It has a good side and a bad side. I did not do it just because, I encouraged you to try at some point. Even if you got 90% now, at some point you realize that how important this homework grades are, because we have 25% in the homework, which is like open, try it again and again. Every time you work, right away you will see the wrong answer. Basically you will see all correct answer for the question we answered wrong. So from there you answer something but you will see the right answer. Okay? So you can compare, you can make some sense, you have lecture, you have the lecture with my boys, you can figure it out, you can try it again. Next questions every time. And also, we have sample tests for all the tests. So sample tests are also part of the homework. Okay? Now the sample test is also exciting because what happens is this. For an example, let's say we have test on chapter 1. If you did not finish reasonings, you are not ready yet. If you are not ready, it doesn't matter how hard you try. It's something like pushing the wall. So we only want to give you the chance when you are ready. That means when you at least get 65% in, the moment you see the link, that means you are ready now. Now, sample test again, you can try it again and again. Doesn't matter how many times before the test, because I have found that people are trying sample test stuff, but not quite impressive that you are trying the sample. Try it before the test, try to get 100% there. I'm not a carrier of bad news or bearer of bad news, but that's also again for the practicing it for last 1 year. In the first day I see couple of, but after that everybody understands, and because that is for you, because you are basically losing a lot of things, because you don't know exactly how many. It will be same questions with the different numbers, trust me. So if you get like 100% in the sample test, honestly, you will have a fair chance of getting at least 90%. And also, sample test in the homework finish, you just save your answer, later on you start over. you don't have to start over. You can just those are timed. Once you click time, you cannot stop the time. Let's say it's only for 20 minutes, okay? You started it, and you did for 5 minutes, and you logged off. But the time is running. Next time when you log in, you see it automatically submitted, you got the grade. You cannot stop the timer there. The reason that was time, because pause will always record the highest grade. You want to try it again, get 90%, your grade is still 100% because that was your highest grade. And every time you submit, you see the wrong question. Question is the wrong answer with the right answer there, so you can compare, you can see. Regarding the test, you get second chance. Each test, you will have 2 chances. For an example, you started the first one. You know there is a time limit, just like the sample test. You submitted it. After the submission, you see the grade, right? But for some reason, you did not like the grade. You probably will see all the correct answer will not be shown because this is a test. You'll just see, okay, question 5 and 8 is wrong. But you will not see the right answer. But if you don't like the grade, you can go for the second chance. Pause will record the last grade. What happens? If you are just, just like if you are tossing, first time you got 70%, second time you might get 50%, and the 50% will be your grade because that is the last grade. It will not record the best grade in case of the test. It will only record the last. Even if you know it, you might make mistake. We do silly mistakes. So this, for some reason, you were not able to make it. So try it again. You will see the similar question. Let's say you miss 5 and 8. You know exactly the similar question will be coming in 5 and 8. But you cannot only do 5 or 10 questions. But you can take each chance. I have seen a lot of examples that people are getting. Next time he get 95%. But I have seen the reverse one as well. So be careful. So, second chance. And regarding the test 1 and test 2, we take the best one. So you have also chance there. You have 2 chances in each test. Out of 1, test 1 and test 2, we take the best one. But there is no replacement of final because there's. Now let's go back to the point here. Grade distribution, all the homework, sample assignment, lab report, and final. Homework, which is 25, and the lab we have like 30%. For some reason we are not grading. Excuse me. And there are some bonus point chances. If you really want to have the bonus, if you want to take the chance,